Hello and welcome to My Consultant, your weekly dose of Canada immigration news. We will start this week's episode by disclosing the new occupations that are now eligible for express entry, followed by Canada's addition of over new 100,000 jobs and government's actions to support Iranians. Next, I will share how express entry system will be shaped in 2023, and Tashina will highlight the opening of new Francophone Centres.
Has been steady in their commitment to ease the acute labor shortages across the country. That's why the Honourable Sean Fraser, Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, newly announced the implementation of the NOC, National Occupational Classification 2021, for immigration programs managed under the Express Entry system. Through the new NOC categories, Canada will welcome global talent in high-demand sectors like healthcare, construction, and transportation. Estheticians, nurses' aides, elementary, secondary school teachers' assistants, as well as correctional service officers are just some of the 16 occupations now included in the Express Entry. The NOC system works by tracking and categorizing all jobs in the Canadian labor market and updates to reflect changes in the economy and in the nature of work. Through this update, 16 occupations that were not previously eligible are now able to benefit from expanded pathways to permanent residency. The changes to the NOC system support the Minister's commitment to expand pathways to permanent residency for temporary workers and international students, as more jobs will become eligible for programs managed under Express Entry. You can visit canada.ca for the full list of 16 occupations now eligible.
The labor market showed some signs of life in October, with a surprise jump in the number of jobs. Wage gains picked up the pace too, with hourly income hitting $31.94 during the month. That is up by 5.6% over the year prior. The hiring surge was more than enough to offset the jobs lost between May and September of this year. All the new jobs were full-time, and almost 3/4 of them came from the private sector. That's the first time that's happened since March this year. The jobs gain comes after 4 months of job losses or little growth in employment. According to the report, almost every part of economy added jobs last month, including manufacturing, construction, accommodation, and food services industries.
As the people of Iran continue to press their government and hold it accountable, the government of Canada is taking action to prevent senior members of the Iranian regime from entering Canada. The Minister of Public Safety recently announced that Canada now officially identifies Iran, or more formally known as the Islamic Republic of Iran, and to others, Persia, as a regime that has engaged in terrorism and systematic and severe human rights violations. Because of this identification and recent declaration, tens of thousands of senior members of the Iranian regime, including many members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, are now inadmissible or forbidden from entering Canada. The ruling is in accordance to subparagraph 35(1)(b) of the Immigration and Refugees Protection Act and applies to those who were senior officials anytime from November 15th, 2019 onwards. Within the list of senior officials hold a wide array of individuals, a part of a regime that has committed crimes against the people of Iran and other nations. This list includes heads of state, members of cabinet, senior military intelligence officials, and more. In addition to being banned from entering Canada, current and former senior officials present here may be investigated and removed from the country. The government has also announced sanctions against Iranian nationals under the Special Economic Measures Act. Iranian nationals' sanctions on grounds of gross human rights violations are inadmissible to Canada. These moves are elements of the Government of Canada's border efforts to hold the Iranian regime and the IRGC accountable for their crimes.
ExpressEntry, that is Canada's main method of bringing international skilled workers to the country through permanent residence, will see some major changes in the year 2023. The government stated that these changes are required to address the labor shortage issues in the country. IRCC intends to begin conducting targeted ExpressEntry draws from next year. And as per the plan, ExpressEntry will target candidates based on their occupation, education, and language to decide who will be eligible to receive Canadian permanent residency. IRCC says that it will consult a wide range of stakeholders to inform new categories in ExpressEntry to ultimately decide on the details of the new format. For now, IRCC will continue to conduct ExpressEntry as usual. That is, every 2 weeks, a certain number of invitations to apply for Canadian permanent residency will be given out based on CRS, that is Comprehensive Ranking Scores. Now let's find out how ExpressEntry system is expected to change in 2023. CRS scores are Canada's key driver to select ExpressEntry candidates. These scores are based on several factors, including but not limited to age, language proficiency, and Canadian work experience. Invitations to apply are sent out accordingly. This process sometimes restricts the right kind of candidates to receive the invitations to apply. Therefore, from 2023, the ExpressEntry system will transition away from a focus on CRS scores and conduct draws that allow Canada to welcome immigrants to help the country better focus on addressing issues such as labor force shortage. These ExpressEntry draws will intentionally target their candidates based on their education, occupation, and language proficiency to find the Canadian permanent residence applicants that best help Canada grow and thrive. Last year, Canada welcomed over 405,000 newcomers, the most Canada has ever welcomed in a single year. Canada is also planning to increase the immigrants' entry into the coming years. Immigration levels plan for the year 2023 to 2025, which was recently released, announced its aim to welcome over 465,000 new immigrants in the year 2023. This will further increase as the country is likely to set a target of 485,000 new immigrants in the year 2024 and 500,000 new immigrants in the year 2025. The new immigration levels plan embraces immigration as a strategy to help businesses find workers and to attract skills required in key sectors such as healthcare, skilled trades, manufacturing, and technology. Immigration Minister Sean Fraser says that current ExpressEntry system do not satisfactorily help Canada bring in foreign nationals who best align with Canada's most in-demand skills and qualifications. Hence, in 2023, the ExpressEntry system will take a new shape to strengthen Canada's labour force market and hopefully see a potential increase of retention rates.
New Brunswick is home to a new centre designed to increase Francophone immigration into Canada. On behalf of the Honourable Sean Fraser, Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, the new Centre for Innovation Francophone Immigration was opened last week in Dieppe, New Brunswick. The opening of the new centre comes in addition to measures currently in place to help increase the number of Francophone immigrants who decide to settle in Canada, particularly in French-speaking minority communities. The centre will be national in scope and will help to 1. Make immigration programs more accessible in order to increase the number of French-speaking candidates selected. This initiative will support the efforts needed to ensure the stability and demographic growth of Francophone communities in Atlantic Canada and across the country. 2. Conduct case studies to better meet the bilingual workforce needs of Francophone employers and communities. The IRCC plans to partner with regional economic development agencies to ensure a good match between labor needs and immigration. And 3. Support international promotional efforts to attract and recruit French-speaking candidates in Canada labor market. Immigration, Refugee, and Citizen Canada will work closely with Francophone communities and organizations that are responsible for selecting immigration candidates. To officially establish the center, Canada promised last year to invest $12.9 million over the course of 4 years, followed by $5.6 million each year beyond that to ensure the implementation of the programming. The size of the investment may grow higher based on the scope of the programming. The center is the first IRCC office in southeastern New Brunswick. The bilingual province has become the second most popular destination chosen by French-speaking immigrants outside of Quebec, with more than 4,000 newcomers from January 2018 to August 2022. The new Centre for Innovation in Francophone Immigration meets the objectives of the Federal Provincial Territorial Action Plan 2020 to 2023, which aims to increase Francophone immigration to French-speaking minority communities. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of My Consultant. Please click the bell icon to subscribe to the My Consultant YouTube channel. For more information on the topics covered in this week's episode, please visit myconsultant.ca, where you can contact an authorized immigration and citizenship consultant. I'm Tashina Thompson.
I'm Tina Batra, and we'll see you next week.